Bitte alle nicht sprechen.
Мы поняли. You can start in English. I mean,
Yeah, okay.
English.
Why don't you tell me we are online? I'm eating meat.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
this is kind of psyop.
Yes, meat. Now I can't eat my meat. Fucking communists. Okay, we have here today the. What is your position in the?
Warte.
Are you okay? We are not live. All right. Inconsistent information.
Oh, cool.
Ja, hallo, liebe Zuschauer. Today we will hold a meeting mainly in English language. Please put away your children and women because the Russians are coming. They are already here, but luckily they are all libertarian Russians. And our special guest tonight is Ivan Chinarov, pronounced correctly. Yeah. Hello, good evening, and hello to your friends. And I was just briefly introduced. Maybe you could introduce yourself. What is your role? You are part of the Libertarian Russian Party.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm the Ivan Chinarov. I was the ex-vice president of Libertarian Party, like for not for 2 years, because after 2 years there is start to search in my house, like with police, because of special investigation against the Russian opposition. Also, although I was the one of the member of federal committees for years, I was the main, not main, I was a member of committee of Moscow committee, Central Moscow committee. And with Igor Yefremov, we start the history of Russian meetings for freedom against censorship, for the Telegram, for the freedom of speech, freedom of internet, because all of law you have right now in Europe, it's just 3-4 years ago was implemented in Russia. Yeah, and then we just steal our rally from another party because they afraid to do rally before the Navalny. But we have ton and we can speak, and we spoken with Navalny, and we have the good conversation about this meeting. Michael Svetov do all conversation, and that's how this history starts. Yeah, maybe this introduce a little bit, but I hope this enough information. Also, right now I do the Volnitsa. This is the Russian-speaking libertarian movement of whole Europe, because many Ukrainians, Belarusian, Russian, Kazakhstanian, Azerbaijanian, and so on, Russian-speaking people want to be the part of one community without, nations and other and other things. That's because we start the movement which can unite all of Russian speaker from Eastern Europe.
Are there more than one libertarian parties in Russia?
Yeah, that's funny history. That's we have two libertarian party, like Libertarian Party of Russia, who calls the people calls it's like Bolsheviks and Mensheviks, because we have history of RSDRP with Lenin and Mensheviks, like with radical communists and not so radical social democrats. Yeah, it was the one party.
It needs to be explained what is mean Bolsheviki.
Bolsheviks, it's like more ambitions, and Mensheviks, it's like less ambitions. Yeah, it's because of the point of destination, what they want to do. Mensheviks wants only the social democrats with republic, with cooperating with liberals movements and other republicans, but Bolsheviks want the revolutions right now and kill of bourgeois and so on. Yeah.
And so where are you in these two?
They call us Bolsheviks, but I every time protesting. No, actually they call us the Bolsheviks because we are like UNCAPs, anarcho-capitalist. We more radical because we wanna just. I need to be more polite with these words. We want to deconstruct to government, make less government to no government. That's because they call us like Bolsheviks, like radicals. And the other part is more reformist. They good with classical liberal government. With I don't know. For me, the funniest stories is like free insulin. Yeah, one of their member want free insulin. Small government but free insulin. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay, the government wouldn't be able to pay it, but still the taxpayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I have had a meeting today with the International Alliance of Libertarian Parties. Is your party part of it, or is it the other party?
I think two of us, because actually, it was 4 years ago, and in 2020, when we split it at two parties, and right now we are cooperating, we do the same things. If in Russia they will prohibit it, Libertarian Party, Russian KGB will not to thinking, if this LPR is prohibited or this LPR is prohibited. No, for there is that doesn't matter because only one brand, they understand. They are so stupid, and we all of us understand this. And right now we like one label, two parties, one China, two policies.
So as long as not anybody goes to prison for activities of the other parties, because I have heard today in this IALP meeting that a girl has been sent to prison because she was organizing a rally.
Yeah. She is a member of another party, but the party, the member I was, write about this right now. Wrote about this today. Yeah, I saw this post and retweeted. I don't know, exit. How with this naming? Repost.
So life is quite hard for libertarians under Putin.
Yeah, of course. There is no option for any politician in Russia. Only quasi-liberal party like Yabloko, because they have agreement with Putin, non-official agreement with Putin regime. and they can exist because Putin need to make the illusion about Russian democracy. We have liberal party, we are not dictatorship. but this is bullshit because in the next election in Moscow, you need to sign the special wait a second, statement that you want to vote on your on offline. If you wanna vote offline, you need to sign their statement. It's fantastic. They just want to draw off all of results in the internet. There is no democracy at all. Only online democracy. That's because we against the online democracy in Russia, because they just draw the results, and we saw many times how they steal the winning of our candidates with this online voting. But right now they want to do only online voting without offline.
Well,
Question, Jabloko, das ist doch dieser Zhirinovsky, oder?
No. Яблоко, it's Yavlinsky.
I think simple correction. I think as of now, the agreement between Yabloko and the federal government has been expired, and they are all in spoiling their role as a spoiler for the United Russia Party has been replaced by this so-called Novые Люди, or New People Party, which just appeared out of nowhere.
The position of Yabloko started to be worse because of situation with war and so on. And right now, Yabloko is party for people who won't be part of registered party, because nothing else you can do in this party. You can go to election and to be elected because this party have no chances to be registered on election.
Just to clarify, maybe for our viewers, I don't know if the same system is implemented in Germany, but in Russia, as soon as you pass this so-called 5% barrier and you become the parliament party, you get tons of government funding. So basically, taxpayer money funding. And
if you have 3%, if you don't
3%.
go,
Okay,
if you don't go in, if you have 5%, you inside in the parliament. If you have 3%, you have government funding. And Yabloko many years for this funding made the illusion about they are opposition party.
It's like in Germany, there are also systematic opposition parties. Now it's CDU or Christian Democratic parties in opposition, but it's the same.
I think it's complicated because this type is very, it's marionettic party of the main party, United Russia. We have only one party, United Russia. The other party, it's like they're part of this masquerade. They have no even so much independence like, CDU or Linkis or AfD even. There is no one opposition party, only the party which connected with Putin and so on. This we have funny, not funny situation when Durov was arrested in Moscow near the French embassy. There was a rally of new people. This is Putin Liberal Party, and they can do a rally like this without, agreement with government. But when our member tried to do the same thing in same day, they were arrested. Yeah, it was Vladimir Mazur. He was arrested because 1 hour later he go to this embassy, went to this embassy, and
Are you all located actually in Germany, or is somebody calling from Russia?
no. Everybody in Europe, in Georgia, in Armenia, something like this. I'm from Poland right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like refugees status in Poland because of pressure of Russian government, of Russian police.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we do all these year stuff with meeting, and they think we are like, battle wings of Navalny team. Like we are the terrorist of Navalny, radicals.
How do you see Navalny? Is he a terrorist, or is he?
No, of course, no. For me, Navalny is hero because of his fight against the dictatorship. Actually, when Navalny was free, our nominal leader Michael Svetov had with him best dialogue we can have with left liberal, and we have so much good experience. Had so much good experience with Navalny, but after they tried to kill him, and Navalny lose control of his structure, it started the war between liberals and us, because unfortunately the other part of FBK want to be part of establishment, European establishment, American establishment, but not part of truly Russian opposition.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't go as far as calling Navalny himself as a person a left liberal. I personally think his personal political views that he expressed in the letters from.
No, this is my position, of course.
Yeah, but I just want to make it extra clear that his personal political views would mostly align with, more than any other public recognized speaker with any level of public recognition, with the libertarian values. Of course, he's nowhere near the ANCAP values or anything, but they're best aligned with that. And but he while he was free, he was not 100% free in things he could say, because he had this entire team, this entire structure that's called FBK, Anti-Corruption Fund, and his colleagues did not share the same values, even to the minimal extent as he did.
But here I can controverse you that Navalny, it was the idea of Navalny have minimum wages in Russia. Yeah, and
Milov's influence, like their economic bloc, like this economic program was written by some radical leftists, and some radical leftists were in his team. I don't personally believe that this was Navalny's personal idea.
But Milov said so. That's because I believe, because he saw that when he debating with Svetov in 2018.
Okay, but it's not important.
Yeah.
We don't know who are these people.
Okay, I can explain it that program of Navalny was the program of leader of opposition. only like this. There is no viewing or left, right. It doesn't matter. He wants to have the popularity to destroy the dictatorship. Of course, it's important for leader of opposition was a person who everyone like. I think that's normal. But okay.
What do you think should or could make Russia more democratic? Does Putin simply need to retire or to die, or is there any chance of a democratic change? Or will it stay the same? Will Putin be followed by another dictator?
It's complicated because nobody can answer these questions. But I can said that Putin's regime it's like a worst version of Franco regime, and if the peoples who the people who will after the Putin death, they was like they will like after Franco peoples. For example, Kudrin can be the person like this. Nabiulina can be person like this, and other systematic liberal, how we call them, and they can start the systematic changes. This is their option. This is not guaranteed option, but this is their option. And some of us, of course, who don't want revolution or mass blood, believe that this type of reformation of government is the best. Because, Franco regime was transformed like very, very soft. And it was a really democracy after the Franco.
Is Putin a socialist, or is he just a dictator?
This is my my lovely theory, because I think the Putin is the first postmodernist in political, because his ideas, like if you ask somebody from he's not psychopath, of course, but his ideas is the Frankenstein of ideas. For Soviets people, for people who thinking about the Soviet Union, of how our grandfathers died in Second World War, communist Soviet Union, and so on. He is socialist because he, like our grandfathers, he said, and he likes the Soviet Union, the fall of Soviet Union. He said it was the most, it was the huge mistakes, geopolitical mistakes. For nationalists, he likes Ilyin. He likes Russian Empire. He likes so-called Romanovы, because these Romanovs cannot do anything with our, rain rights for rain. And of course, war in Ukraine, it's symbiosis of these two ideas, because for Soviet people, for socialists, this is war against fascism. But for Russian nationalists, it's the war for Russian dominance. But actually, there is no Russian nationalism inside Russia. There is no socialism inside Russia. There is only like postmodern government, because the murders and the people who was judged, they can go to the prison and recruit some people and go to war but in our constitution, there is prohibited of private work company is prohibited to some person to recruit judged people and prisoners, and this is sick. Of course, there is no government. There is like a chapiteau, a circus, and Putin has no ideology. Maybe he has ideology gas, and of course oil, and of course some metals he can sell, but there is no ideology like, strongly ideology we can explain what is it. Yeah.
There is a German politician woman, Sarah Wagenknecht.
Yeah. Something like this.
Yeah, she said, I'm a nationalist Bolshevik.
Yeah, national Bolshevik.
Maybe. And she's a fanatic Putinist.
Yeah.
And a hardcore communist, like straight on.
Ludwig, du hast wieder Audioproblem.
The red MILF, what I read about her today.
Because someone tried to call that Putin is nationalist, but how you can explain that nationalists give the Chechens the chance to pressure Russian in Russia? Sounds sick. If he is a socialist, how he can cut the government spending on school, on medicine, because of war? Strange, yeah? If he is, I don't know, liberal, how he called himself, how he can kill the opponents and so on. We can not explain what is this ideology actually.
Yeah, and it's our hope maybe after Putin's death, this regime not stay, yeah, because we don't have ideology, it's just Putin's.
Yeah. When I remembering, I think you are all too young to remember it well, but maybe you have been told. I remember very well Gorbachev. I remember how he was somehow imprisoned, I think, in his house on the Crimea, and he was liberated by Yeltsin troops. And that was a time in Russia which I saw as a kind of anarchy. There were more clans and criminality, and the government was not very strong. I don't know if you agree, but if it was like this, one could imagine that somebody like Putin said, "Okay, I need a stronger grip on this country to keep to remain in my position."
Actually, I can explain it like this. We have two types of post-Soviet regime. Three types, actually. The first types is for the first day, it's dictatorship, like Aliyev dictatorship in Azerbaijan, like Turkmenbashi dictatorship in Turkmenistan, and Lukashenko in Belarus. Yeah, they have 4 years of democracy, but who cares? And you have the second type of post-Soviet regime. It's like Ukraine, where oligarchs understand that strong central government is very dangerous for them. And they installed some kind of democracy. And the third type is like Russia, when the oligarchs decided that they need to strong arm to save their money. What can one can start to be bad? Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the best way of capitalism is to use the government or abuse the government, and the best way is to abuse it for socialism. So I'm an oligarch, and I make an agreement with the government, and they introduce a kind of socialism, and everybody has to buy the products that I'm selling.
Yeah, they have a monopoly because of Yeltsin. Because of Yeltsin, family, we call it family, like in Tanichka and Valichka. It's his daughter and his wife. Or not wife. I can have a mistake like this. His family, Yeltsin family, help to sell government's company, like privatized, government's company for small price. This government's company was selling in this period nickel, oil, gas, and so on. The main resources. And of course, these people, in one moment, started to be the most powerful in Russia. And after this, I don't know why, but they decided this way to choose Putin, and all of them decided to choose Putin. And only Khodorkovsky and maybe Nevzlin decided to stop help Putin after he was elected. And Putin started war with them. That's because Khodorkovsky and Nevzlin was Khodorkovsky was arrested, but Nevzlin was go away, and two of them was under pressure of Russian government. Yeah.
Okay, we have a question from YouTube. I might read that out real quick. Where is he? Please explain all the basics about the Russian political situation. Germans don't know nothing about that, me included. Don't assume prior knowledge. It's a very general question, isn't it? But maybe because, let me rephrase it. Because in Germany, in the alternative media scene, there's often this narrative portrayed where, we in the West, we have all this crazy woke mind virus, but in Russia, Putin is leading a strong hand against socialism. Yeah, he's somebody who holds up Stalin. I know, it's bullshit. But maybe you can give us a little basic sneak peek in what is politics in Russia.
All of these people who are thinking about Russian traditionalism, I recommend to Google the Russian military church. Because in this church there is satanic symbol. I'm the Orthodox Christians, and for me it's important that in Orthodox church there is a satanic symbol of Bolsheviks. And for me this is all of this about Putin's regime. That they built the church with Stalin. Stalin, the great Orthodox man, and with Bolsheviks star, and
which is a pentagram, which is a satanic symbol.
Yes. Pentagram, and for me this is very strange, because Bolsheviks kill so much Christian in Russian. It's like the German too, because my family lived in Saratov region. There is so much German who was killed or resettled, and so much Christian, Lutherans, Orthodox, and so on was killed. And right now, Putin just help this regime to be legitimate. Like they won the war. Stalin won the war.
Sorry, I want to actually clarify something. It's important. So the mosaic that you are broadcasting right now, after some consideration, I don't know by whom it was taken down. However, the thing Vanya was talking about, the pentagram, basically, the hammer and sickle and the red star has not been taken down up till this day. It's still there. It's like an actual church, like church. It's supposed to be a Christian church or an Orthodox Christian church, and it's still there.
Yeah, and this is, we called it Победобесие, like, it's when you brave the winning, but without sense.
Siegeswahn. Победобесие.
Yeah, it's kind of element of Putin ideology. I think you saw these elements every night, the 9th of May, in German city, yeah, with this type of marches of dead hero or something like this.
In Germany,
in Eastern Germany, how I know they have something like this.
May I ask how big your party or parties are, the Libertarian parties? How many members and what their names?
Together it was thousands of members in the peak. Yes, but we was very effective with this small quantity of members. We, for example, made the lecture of Hoppe for thousands of people go to the lecture of Hoppe.
Wow.
Wow.
Hans-Hermann Hoppe liegt auf YouTube.
Yeah.
Also bei Michael Svetov.
Yeah, we made, of course, the Michael Svetov made the most of work in a situation with Hoppe, in lecture with Hoppe. But it's like Libertarian Party made together, yeah. Also, we made the reading of Adam Smith. It was the every year lecture in Moscow. The foundation of Naumann, they helped to us organize this lecture, and it was like 9 lecture in one day, and on the peak of this meeting lectures, we have thousands people in one moment in the hall.
Crazy. So yeah, the Putin regime probably didn't like you spreading Austrian economics like crazy.
Yeah.
Because the Russian people also have intellectuals which would understand that, so you gotta stop, you nip it in the butt.
Yeah, I have the conversation with one government person. We're talking about the selling of the earth. I said, the earth need to be free to sell. They said, if these people haven't has us, they killed each other for this earth. Our government think that people like animals. Without the armed fist, they killing each other, and that they are, zombies without
a strong leader to keep them
Yeah.
Astray. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's the illusion every government gives
Yeah.
us, that a society without government wouldn't work. There would be chaos, there would be crime, and so on.
Yeah. When I talked with the man who write the law about extremism in Russia, I asked him one question. Did you know that your law help to catch and take to jail young people like 16 years old, 17 years old, because of pictures, only pictures in internet, 5-7 years in jail. He said, yeah, I know it, but it's very important for another people to do not the extremism. I don't know how I can explain it, but for me, it's like they hate people. They like really people hater.
Yeah, our government tries to do the same, but they have no such not such power.
Yeah.
Like Putin.
The frame in which they can act as autocratic as Putin does it, it's not that large.
My friend who like to joke about German bureaucracy said that I every time joke about German bureaucracy, but German bureaucracy is the only one thing that saves you against the dictatorship because they cannot implement their destructing law right now. They need to have the agreement with agreement, and so on.
A thing becomes legal in Germany from 600 pages plus.
Yeah.
There's another question on YouTube from NICIB again. Does Russia want to enforce a kind of Monroe Doctrine to the area of the former Soviet Union? Does Russia want to take over all region where ethnic Russians are in the majority?
Oh, we doesn't know because I think, because I can speak like for other people, but I think that in this part of Putin's movement, he thinking like the Bolsheviks. There is good Ukrainians who for me who choose the Putin. They can speak Ukrainian language. They can do Ukrainian stuff, but they need to hire Putin in Ukrainian language. And there is another Ukrainians who hate Putin. All of them is fascist. And with all of nation, he thinking like this. Like Stalin. If you with Stalin, you are a good socialist nation. If you against, you like Crimean Tatars, you are like Chechens, you are like Germans in Povolzhye, in Saratov, you go to Kazakhstan or just will murders.
Who's not with me is against me, yes?
Yeah. He has no, influence on nation. Nation for him is nothing. For him is only loyalty is important, because in his government there is Bashkirs, Tatars, Chechens, and so on. Yeah, the most loyal, like Siloviks. I don't know how it say.
Silavik, das ist Angehörige der bewaffneten Organe. Das sind die Tschetschenen.
Yeah.
Ihnen mehr vertraut als den Russen. Sorry for German comment.
Yeah, thank you for
It's
explaining.
Chechens who he trusts more in the armed forces than Russians. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it's like the trap for Russian nationalists, because they like this war against Ukrainians. But every time we see in we see in the internet, like they all miserable because of Chechens have all of glory in this war. What the fuck, Putin? We Russian
Yeah,
nationalists.
how does that go together? Because there's some in Rusich, for example, these PMC groups. There's some real Nazis, like self-proclaimed National Socialists, and they're Russian nationalists. On the other hand, you have the narrative that we, Putin, are fighting the Nazis in Ukraine. So what is it?
It's kind of nationalists copium.
Yes.
About, you know, Putin will die, but the territories will with us for every day.
Yeah, the 1,000-year Reich.
Yeah,
also imagined. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Putin will die, but the terrains is with us.
And there are another Russian nationalist in Ukraine side, yes?
Yeah. It was two types of Russian nationalists. One type with RDK. It's a Russian force to freedom. I forget RDK. Как это расшифровывается?
Демократический корпус.
Не, они же не демократические.
Нет?
Нет.
Добровольческий.
Добровольческий. Oh, Russian.
Russian Freiwillige Corpus.
Yeah. There is a nationalist, like, you know, more Moscovite nationalists, not like Russian nationalists, because they want only Moscovite territories, like Tver, Moscow, Kaluga, so on. They don't want Siberia, Caucasus, because they think that there is so much not Russian in these territories. They want a clear ethnic state. And the other parts in Azov, because they are truly national socialists. They believe in white race and white power and so on. I don't know if I need to explain that I don't agree with this. Because we all don't like stuff like this. Because in Russia we need to say like this: I don't agree with white power. It's very important. And there is only two types of nationalists in Ukrainian side, and of course the Russian minorities, like Burats, Chechens, who fight for Ukrainian because they think that Ukrainian will give them freedom.
I think we have another question on YouTube. Let me close this here.
Sorry, hello? Do you hear me? I just want to continue the speech of Ivan. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, my name is Sasha, and I want to tell you about Vladimir Putin. This is interesting that in Russia, our major ethnic group is Russians. Russian people, just a Slavic nation, And in 2010, I remember that we had a migration crisis in Moscow, for example, in St. Petersburg. Crowds of migrants from Mid-Asia states, for example, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, or Azerbaijan. This is Muslim countries, Islamic countries, and a lot of people from there comes to Russia, to Moscow, to St. Petersburg, and some kind of migration crisis. And it was before the migration crisis in Germany. If I remember correctly, in Germany you had in 2015, right? And we had the same problems before you. And I know that in Russia we have criminal law. According to this law, if you are Russian, if you are native Russian from Russia, and if you criticize migrants, Muslim migrants from Islamic countries, you can be jailed. You can be thrown to prison. Yeah, but if you Muslim migrant and if you criticize Russian people, you have no problems. And I think that actually Putin, for me, he's leftist. He's on left side because he do the exact same things which European politics do. For example, in Germany,
the first progressive president in Europe.
yeah, it is true. I think so. And for example, there is conspiracy theory. It is not official theory, but it is just for fun. And according to it, this I heard this theory from Oleg Kashin. This is famous Russian nationalist
and journalist.
He is journalist, and he said that Vladimir Putin probably accepted Islam because, first of all, he kissed the Quran, the main book of Muslims, and according to the Islamic law, only Muslims allowed to kiss the Quran. This is first thing. The second thing, he has girlfriend. Oh, sorry, girlfriend friend Alina Kabayeva, and she is Muslim woman. And the third thing is that after Prigozhin appraisal, Vladimir Putin had meetings with people from Dagestan. Dagestan is a Muslim region of Russia. Vladimir Putin didn't visit Moscow region. Vladimir Putin didn't visit St. Petersburg. He visited Dagestan, Muslim region. And there is a conspiracy theory that he is actually implicitly, hidely accepted Islam because he appealed to Muslim countries more often than to the Western countries. Yeah, okay. And
and there is many, from our officials, there is many speaking about the Orthodox. The same is Islam.
So Putin speaks like a right, but he acts like a left, right?
Yeah,
absolutely correct.
Right. Yeah, like progressive left, because he implements the many left law, like extremist law, which you have right now. It was the first progressive law in Russia. we was the first in this, drama of censorship. And Putin, of course, don't like to aggressive speaking against Islam, against Orthodox too, but against Islam the most harmful, because I don't know if you hear about the story with the son of Kadyrov, who beat
Nikita
Zhuravell, yeah.
Who was the story of Nikita Zhuravell,
who was traumatized by a son of Kadyrov in Chechen's prison. For us, it's wild history because he was arrested in Astrakhan, how I remember, and they traveled him in. They put him in another region. We are federation. You cannot switch him like, know.
I can explain this story more detailed. Nikita Zhuravell is native Russian from Russia.
He burned the Quran.
Yeah, ethnically Russian Christian, and he what he did. He burned Quran probably. I don't remember. He desacrificed Islam. Yeah. But he did it in a Slavic region, in Russian region of the Russian Federation. and according to the law, he should be go to prison in this region. But Vladimir Putin transferred this man. He transferred Nikita Zhuravlev to Chechnya. Chechnya is Islamic region, and
strongly Islamic.
Yes,
Wahhabits, literally.
And son of the Chechnya governor, Ramzan Kadyrov, the son of Ramzan Kadyrov, he bite Nikita
beat up
Zhuravlev.
the guy. He was led into his cell. Basically, he was beat up, and after it was all on publicly, all on cameras. And after that, not only did he get no punishment for that, but he got, I think, 3 medals in a row, 3 state-recognized, state-issued medals in a row from the dictator of Chechnya, from his own father, sanctioned by Putin for beating up a prisoner, basically a political or a religious prisoner who shouldn't even have been there, because he should have been prosecuted in a totally different region of Russia.
So Russian state awarded son of Kadyrov, and it is just disgusting.
Yeah, it's for all of traditionalists who think that Putin is like a Christian warrior of traditionalism. Of course, he's not.
I hope other members of our party are now listening this.
Because many years ago I was the nationalist, and I was a nationalist because I saw all of this problem, but I don't know about libertarianism and I don't know how to solve this problem. And I thought that so much Uzbeks and Tajiks in Moscow streets, there is a problem. But later I understand that there is only a problem with government. And of course, it was very popular idea in Moscow in 10th. Many of people go to Russian March. It's like nationalist rally. Every year they do a nationalist rally. But even this nationalist rally at first was moved to the end of the Moscow, 2 hours on metro. And after this, they prohibited Russian marches. This is Russian nationalist Putin.
Yeah. And 5 years ago, I was Antifa because it's a real problem on the street with really Nazi. Yeah, it was so much violence because I have black hair. So, and it was videos with me. Yeah, and it was really crazy time. Yeah.
Yeah, because in Moscow there is not so much. There wasn't so much violence, but in the region, it was massacre. Like we have Kandagopa, when nationalists and Azerbaijans just cut each other.
And in this side I have problem too. Why I'm not Muslim, but my family is Muslim and.
But problem is not in religion, of course. But the problem is
but you're not our.
The problem in Putin.
Of course.
Yeah, we have more questions from YouTube. Quite a lot, actually. What? No, so this one we had, I think. Are you members of Libertarian Party of Svetov, or were Grigory Bazhenov? Yeah, I'm butchering the names. I'm sorry.
There is 2 parties. One of there's 2 parties. They nominate, because he has no official leadership in this party. The nominate leader of one is Svetov, like he is ideological leader. And the other party ideological leader, like Mikhail Pozharsky. You know, Mikhail Svetov, Mikhail Pozharsky. Funny because two Michaels. We call them Michaels Lichter and Michaels Темнов, как перевести.
Dark?
Yeah. I don't know
Michael
how.
the Light and Michael the Dark, because it's play on
Michael
words. Svet means light
Yeah.
in Russian, and yeah,
because they two of these people who like ideological control these parties like do opposite things of the opening do. For example, we have the meme in Russian culture, libertarian culture. Michael Svetov said that you cannot eat children libertarian. On the next day, Michael Pozharsky said that you must eat children if you're libertarian. Yeah. I was in Svetov's party, but I like to say that I'm from Conway's party because my president, the man who I was vice president, was Yaroslav Conway. Right now, he do very funny ironic videos on YouTube.
And right now, the chairman, the chairperson is Marina Matsapulina. She is geographically located in Serbia. She also had to flee Russia, just like her predecessor Conway, just like Svetov, just like everyone. But yeah, officially, in the structure of this party, the position of the chairman is purely like the bureaucratic position. They hold no real power. But yeah, back then, Yaroslav Conway...
the real power actually in the hand of federal committee, because I was the part of this federal committee. And of course, we have more votes, more power, and we can change some issues. If it's interesting that in the split of the party, Svetov actually, I'm so sorry, Michael, but you, but he had no so much role. Because the main role in split of the party, it was the federal committee. Because we decided to split like party, you know.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
I just want to. I would like to answer the question of very beginning of this meeting. You asked what will be in future of Russia. Will it be the dictatorship? And I would like to ask this because it is important just for me. Yeah, and I think I see the problem here because European countries, the European Union and the United States, they antagonized the people of the Russian Federation because the war was started personally by Vladimir Putin, but the West, the European Union, guilty entire Russian nation, and I see the problem here because in fact, actually, Russian nation love Europe and love European culture and love the United States. But now, when the West blames all Russian people, the entire nation, including the people who were against the war, now I see in Russia. Russian people now they don't like the European Union. I think we need to. I think it would be great to have something like a Marshall Plan for Germany. After the World War II, Germany had a Marshall Plan, yeah, to fix the economy of Germany, right?
But actually, that didn't do it. The Marshall Plan didn't do, because Irakli is laughing. I'm gonna say what he's thinking. The Marshall Plan didn't do much. What really brought Germany back on track was Ludwig Erhard and the lowering of taxes, the cutting of price fixings, because there were price fixings that something is just allowed to cost that much. Socialist controls, price controls and shit like that, and the population would have starved to death. Millions would have starved.
Yeah.
So this was not really the Americans. It was Ludwig Erhard making Austrian economics go boom boom.
Yeah, I'm not historian. I'm not.
Yeah, because in Russia, in Russian psychology, in Russian propaganda, they've said there is no German German influence in this crisis. There is no South Korean influence in their crisis. There is only American, like with and
yeah, if the world would be that simple, I could fly.
But I how to say in English настроение.
Mood.
Mood. I see mood. I see negative mood inside Russian society. The mood against Europe, and there was no such mood in the past. And I think the problem here is that when the migration crisis in Germany in 2015 started, politics said that there is no illegal nations, there is no illegal people, but now we see that there is illegal people, and it is Russian. Even if a Russian person against the war, it will be, this person will never get the EU visa, and that's why, for example, Ksenia Sobchak is famous Russian, I would say opposition, but I'm not sure, 50-50. Let's consider her as opposition. And she was pro-European in the past, and now she's against Europe. And I see the same mood. I communicate with some relatives from Russia. Yeah, I see the same mood. And for example, Mikhail Svetov says the exact same things, and yeah, this is the problem. And for example, Ilya Yashin, who now in Germany, right? Germany exchanged him and got him from Russia. Now Ilya Yashin in Germany, and he said that it is a mistake to antagonize the Russian nation, because war was started personally by Vladimir Putin, not by Russian nation, because Vladimir Putin established dictatorship, and he didn't ask Russian nation should he start the war or not start.
It's never the population who starts wars, it's always the government.
We are libertarians. We know all this. We hate European Union.
Yes.
We are the party against the European Union, and we know that there is no such thing like national, wie heißt es, Schuld?
National guilt.
Guilt, yes. It's stupid.
Actually, I don't have problem with open border because, of course, I'm the political refugee. But I think there is no place to spending money on refugees. If you're refugees, you need to work on your place in that society.
Well, speaking out against the EU doesn't necessarily mean speaking out against the Schengen Agreement, right?
Yeah,
correct,
or
yes.
against the EU tradement agreement, because
exactly.
EU tradement agreement good, yeah.
But for a trade agreement, you don't need a super state, which needs hundreds of billions of dollars a year. You need one A4 paper. It says nations X, Y, and Z agree to trade freely. Period.
But the trade agreement you need if somebody permits the trade. And who was this somebody?
Why not?
I mean, 100 years ago, there was no trade agreement. It was not needed.
Yeah, of course.
Borders were open.
unfortunately, in this time, we need to speak that at first step, we need to return Europe Union to trade agreement, because a trade agreement was maybe a good idea. The Europe without borders, yeah?
Yeah.
The West, of course, the world without borders. No, like not political borders, but without the...
Only private borders.
Yeah, only private borders, of course.
No,
Yeah.
my house is owned by me, and
Is
I
my
decide
castle, yeah.
whom I let in or not.
Sorry, I just sorry for interruption. I just recently read news in SVT News. This is Michael Svetov news agency. And in one single day there was two news. The first news again about extremely talented doctor from Russia, from Krasnodar region. It is extremely talented neurosurgeon. Yeah, he was against the war. He escaped Russia. He escaped Putin's regime, and he tried to get a German humanitarian visa, and he failed. Germany didn't give him the visa, but in the same day in Germany, one Muslim immigrant killed someone. I don't remember who. He killed, and he was in Germany illegally. He had no visa, he had no documents, and he killed someone. And I wonder, it is interesting how German government allows such people as Muslim migrant visit and live in Germany.
I think German Libertarian Party know all of these problems.
Yeah, I'm just saying it
I
for
see
you.
like
I just saying it for
directly
you.
laughing about all of this.
I'm saying it not for you, but for YouTube, maybe.
Yeah, of course. I'm just laughing about.
And we have the same problem in Russia. I know that I know a person from England, from the UK, Englishman. He had education in Oxford, really wonderful education, and he failed to get Russian like work permit. Yeah, it is impossible for him to work in Russia, but it is very easy to live in Russia if you are Muslim from Central Asian states, from Turkmenistan or Uzbekistan, etc. And Russia and Russian government and German government makes the same policies, filter great people and welcome some maybe I don't know how to say some other people allowed to visit their countries. So German government and Russian government does.
Yeah, Putin is just another progressive dictator.
Yeah.
Do YouTube have another questions? Interesting because.
Yes. 1 second. We had that one. What part of Russian population support Putin and the war? Question.
Actually, we have, independent Russian field agency, partly independent, but we more approve their results than another. And there is two problems. At the first problem, they said that 90% of people just decline to answer this question because there is a dangerous in Russia have not approved position. It's very important for all type of public polls in Russia. It's not a new story with war, which started with war, but actually with war it's very important. And of course, its poll said that 50-50. 50%. No, actually, it's like 40% don't care because they're afraid of do any stuff with politics. They really don't care. Like, you know, they're afraid, they don't care, they want just leave them alone. And 30% are for the war, for the killing of all of this stuff and so on. And another 30 for the agreement, some like, you know, because you can't said that you are against the war. You just can say that you are for agreement, kind of. And every position which in Russia is for agreement, actually, this is position against the war, because it's the like the society try to say that we are against the war, we're against the war, you know, we are here, yeah. But in Russia, this is really a lot of fear about answering these type of questions, because we have literally you can jail, you can post prosecuted for this type of use, like 5 years, 10 years in jail, you know.
Let me actually summarize this, because I think it's really, really important for the audience, for the YouTube audience to understand this. What Vanya said is that there is 90% of respondents, 90%, so 9 out of 10 people who refuse to answer the question. Out of those, out of the remaining 10%, 40%, which means 4% out of the total number of the respondents, said that they do not have an opinion. And then the remaining 6 are equally divided between 3 and 3 who do support the war till basically like the Kiev gives up, and 3% of people who do consider a truth. So what that actually means, if you do all the math, there is zero, absolutely zero reason for people who support the war to fear the backlash from the government. So you can confidently put all those 90% who refuse to answer the question into the pro-truth or anti-war audience. Moreover, the 4% of people who said they don't care, it's the same story. So what we're left is 97% out of just out of the statistics. I'm not bringing any new information. It's just from the information Vanya just said to you. 97% are I would go as far as to say are actively against war.
Yeah, you need to understand this because, you know, there is a Putin's regime, how it works. He tried to talk with you like, don't involve in my politics. If you try to involve in my politics, I will kill you. Because it started not with Navalny. It started with Politkovskaya. It started with many Litvinenko, many politics he killed before these periods. But unfortunately for Russian civil society, it was the most economically perspective times, like, you know, in the zeros, 2000 zeros. Because for Russia, it was like, you know, because price of oil was very high. And nobody care about Litvinenko, Politkovskaya, because you're very, not very, but you are you have more money than yesterday. You don't need to fight for food or do some criminal stuff. You just can live your life, and that's all. That's because people don't care in zeros about Litvinenko, Politkovskaya, and other peoples who was killed by Putin. Because Putin started killing, starting to killing people in zeros, and that's pattern that if you against me, I will kill you. Shut up. Because my parents, when I said to them that I want to be part of politics. I want to change my country and so on. They said to me, you can't change anything. You just need to shut up. Because the wise people in the high castle will decide the best decision they can. They kill you. They move you to jail. Why do you care about this? Just make your money and don't care about this. This is Putin politics. That's because people don't go to the protest, because when they started to protest, Putin just start to give to them really high prison
Jail time.
Jail time, yeah. Like 10 years. You understand what is 5 years in Russian prison? It's like the killers, because the killers in Russian prison system take 5 years in prison.
Everybody should read Archipel Gulag.
Yeah.
To understand this.
Yeah, every time after I started to make the rally against censorship with Telegram, against the pension reforms, against any other things, every time in 5 a.m. I woke up and start to hear what happened under my door, after my door, because every of us know that at 5 a.m. the FSB or police can go to you, arrest you, or make a search. And only now, after 3 years of migration, I have no anxiety about this shit. That because it's your reality. It's not like, stressful situation, because every Russian's afraid of policemen. Every Russian. It doesn't matter if you politics or not politics.
Sure.
There are people in Germany, they think we are already in tyranny.
Not anywhere close. But fair enough, we have to state that there are tendencies here where stuff like this also happens.
Tendencies, yeah.
Tendencies. There's some people in the government or surrounding areas which also would like to have more autocratic control like Putin has.
Yeah, it's
sadly,
very
for example, if you said the 5 a.m. thing, we had this with the Compact magazine. I mean, I don't generally like the content of him, but it doesn't matter. He was not breaking any laws, and the Internal Ministry shut his magazine down. It's, unrightfully. But a judge ruled that this was unlawful, and they backtracked 2 weeks later. So that's Germany. But at the Irakli is laughing. The irony here is that that he often has pro-Putin content in his magazine, and at the same time there was some Western-leaning magazine in Russia which also was outlawed. And the irony here is that he is somewhat not pro-Putin, and the fascist German state just backtracked on the decision to close his magazine. If he would be in Russia, and from the other side, he would have not gotten the magazine.
Yeah. This is really important when you think that in Germany, you need to fight against censorship. It's very important every time. It's very important that you have so much anxiety about your level of censorship, because if you don't, if you will not have this type of anxiety,
if you give them the finger, they'll take the whole hand.
Yeah, the next day you wake up in Russia, in Putin's Russia. Yeah, and that's because I do all of this stuff with European meetings for telegrams, because for me, from my childhood, Europe was like a light. was like a fire of freedom, light of freedom, yeah. And I remember how, oh my God, they have so much justice, they have so much freedom. And when I grow up, I saw that you just implement the same laws with gap like 3-5 years, and this really fear me because I love Europe. I love European culture, and I don't want to Europe convert to Putin's regime at all. Because for me, it's very important, and I don't want that another people will live like Russians, because there is no, you know, there is no Russians is not. There are the I forget, как жертва.
Жертва.
Opfer.
Opfer.
That's German.
Oh, victims.
Victim.
Yeah. Russians are victims of 100 years regime who killed Russian, who killed Russian, who arrested Russian, who transported Russians. And you know what is the numbers, like 5 million people, 6 million people. Like, you need to watch the early Russian Federation movie Chekist. You will see the truly history of Russia, because there is a moment when this is Chekist just start to fabric of death, like kill all of people, like in fabric.
CK war früher Name von KGB, wurde später umbenannt.
The predecessor to the KGB, yeah.
One of names, but
Yeah.
Chekist is so famous. Das ist wie, keine Ahnung, SS-Mann in Deutschland.
Ja, allgemeiner Begriff.
Stasi.
Later, yes, Stasi.
Yeah, because
But Stasi is exact.
it was very important movie from Germany. I forget the name, but about the Stasi specialist who started to have empathy to the object of security.
You mean das Leben der anderen?
Yeah.
The new film.
Immer noch nicht gesehen, verdammt.
Ich auch nicht.
I like to think that my personal postman who searched on me, he like in this movie just decided to not catch me because he go to another address. It's funny because they always know where you live, but in this situation he went to another address and don't find me, of course. That's because I like to remember this movie and thinking, maybe he is like this. But no, I understand that this is copium.
But would you say you lost the war for liberty in Russia?
Yeah.
I would
No.
say we lost the battle, but we didn't lose the war.
exactly.
Because the war, there is no end to history. Mikhail
Yeah.
Svedov loves
point.
reminding his audience about there is no such thing as the end of history. There will never be the society of abundance. There will never be communism. There will never be 100% Ancapistan or whatever you call it. There will always be new battles, but maybe we won't live long enough to fight them. Maybe our children will. Maybe our grandchildren will. Maybe our great-grandchildren will.
Yeah. There is a really point of this, and of course, I just thinking about we lost the battle for freedom only for our generation. Yeah, maybe something will change.
It's
Would
important
you say
for your
that
generation.
definitive? Couldn't there imagine in, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 years maybe something domestically happens in Russia which sparks something else like this, or external influence. I mean,
Yeah, of
a lot
course.
could happen, man. Like most people in 1980 didn't think that the Soviet bloc will fall in 9 years.
Yeah, but you know,
Nobody thought that.
I think that copium is the most harmful thing for your mind.
Arguably.
Because the best idea in your head from Roman society is I forget. Sorry, my mind is like Stoicism.
Stoicism.
Uh,
Stoicismus.
Yeah, when you agree with the reality and try to do like the reality give to you. I don't really have right now resources to change the situation in Russia. Nobody, actually. Only the Putin's team. Some
So, but
resources.
how maybe if, because as you described earlier, there are a lot of oligarchs around Putin, and they like making money. Like everybody likes to make money. So if
Yeah,
the
but
economic
they're afraid
situation
too, because-
continues to go downwards, I think there could be dynamics which throw things around. You can see this in China right now.
Yeah,
Because
let's
these
hope. Of course.
policies lead to the rich families and dynasties not making as much money anymore. They don't like that, understandably. They kind of rather want to go back to producing sheep shite for the West, and their economy grows. But not with Xi's policy, you know. That
I agree with you. Then we can, finish this, talking like with not cope but hope. Yeah, because you need to really understand what's happened, and maybe a little bit hope, because hope is really necessary for this time. But you don't need to cope, because coping is killing you, killing your mind, and just.
In the time of Prigozhin's revolt, who saved Putin?
Prigozhin, because he was so stupid that he thought that Putin, on this point of history, thinking about him like I'm his man, like we are the one team. But Putin just declined the Prigozhin as the Putin's team. And if Putin decides to decline you like garbage, you are the dead person, because you really know too much information. Prigozhin have only two options: conquer the Moscow or died. And when he decided to die, I of course understand that the death of Prigozhin, it's like 1-2 months.
let's go back to some questions on YouTube, because we kind of have like a lot of them lining up. Did Western sanctions against the Russian population help to increase the support for Putin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because people think that this is personal sanction for Russians, not for Putin's, because Putin's
Well, because it hits also Russians. They can feel.
yeah. But Putin's trade with Europe, gas and oil, but through the Azerbaijan, through the Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, you can saw how much.
I can give you a more precise and more outrageous example of how it helped consolidate people around Putin. So who are the most critical layers of society in Russia of Putin? The political immigrants. That's logical, right? That makes sense. The political immigrants who left Russia after the beginning of the war, because not only because it ruined the economy, it ruined their companies and their lives, but because also they were convinced that they do not want to support to vote for the escalation with their tax money. So they left the jurisdiction. And what did the sanctions do? The sanctions blocked them, prevented them from opening bank accounts outside. They prevented them, they cut them off from the global payment systems such as Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. They literally blocked their payment cards. They were rendered useless outside Russia. In Russia, they were still fine, but outside Russia, they were rendered useless. And those people who could have benefited, the fight of Ukrainians for their freedom, who could have benefited the West with their tax money, with the money they were earning with their businesses, they were forced to move back to Russia and to basically support Putin. That is how sanctions helped Putin, directly helped, not indirectly something. I'm giving you a direct example.
It's a very good example. It prohibits the natural brain drain which would happen. But it couldn't happen. That's interesting.
It did happen, and then it got reversed because those brains you need to feed somehow. You cannot buy food without the access to the international payment system.
Sorry, my private opinion, I think if you're ready to support Putin's because you cannot pay with your card, fuck yourself. I think it's not reason to support Putin.
Yeah, I think it's more diverse. If you can't really like migrate your capital out of Russia or sell your company and then take the capital, move it to somewhere else. And build
use bitcoins.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but I think it's not about Putin's support. It's about to not support the opposition, because there is no only two position for Putin or against Putin. There is specter of position, and of course the people decide to return to Russia because they have no money, they have no resources to continue to resist, to emigrate and so on. That's because many of them closed their websites, their Twitter account, their Facebook account, and just silently sit in Russia because they have no resources to continue immigration and fight against Putin on immigration.
I think
that's right.
We should also say what would be the right sanction.
Yeah.
The right sanction would be to lower the price of oil and gas, or not?
Yeah. It's the first. In the first place, the German must to stop to destroy atomic energetical system.
Too late for that. It's already done.
It's the second step, probably.
Yeah.
The first step would be increase oil and gas production.
Yes, because that would directly hit Putin and the oil companies, and not like businessmen in Russia, like normal people.
The third things, of course, it's about personal sanction against Putin's oligarch. My media, where I work, it's not my media. I just work in this media. Write many things about the people who avoid the sanction regime and just buy the citizenship of Germany, Latvia, Lithuania, and so on. What the fuck? I'm so sorry. But if you want to sanction the people who construct this regime, sanction these type of people who will build this regime. Yeah, and of course you need unsanction them if they start to be loyal to you. if they have the pro-Western position, for example, if they have a pro-democratic position, then you unsanction them. That's the way to end the war. Not you cannot give to some people enter to European Union even if they the killer or the helper of killers, and to another people who against the Putin, against the war, forbid the enter to Europe. This is strange for me.
Yeah, but I think the lowering oil price below $40 for barrel would end very fast the war.
No, unfortunately, Putin has another oil right now. You know about the microchips economy, that Russia and Ukraine together is 19% of iron gas. The iron gas is very important for microchips.
Yeah, for the lithography machines.
Yeah. For all of our world economic, unfortunately, is very important iron gas and some another stuff. I forgot. I forget about this. I'm so sorry, but some another stuff which made only in Russia and Ukraine, and unfortunately, there is a problem. But you can switch the loyalty of Putin's oligarch. What is more important? The people who stabilized his regime, the people who make his regime is, stabilized.
Yeah. Okay. Your plans for the other, what are you doing now, and for the future, what do you want to do in the future?
We of course make our movement for libertarians, for our Sputniks of freedom, our allies of freedom, because we want to unite all of libertarian. Maybe, for example, for starting in Europe, because we see that Europe is more complicated mechanism than we visualized in our brain in Russia, because right now we see that Europe is the one mechanism, and you cannot just change only one countries for liberty. These countries, you need to change all of European Union, and I want to help all of. But no, maybe this is very global plans, but I want to help you and another libertarians party to understand that national party right now doesn't matter, because we have the global enemy like dictatorship, and we need to help each other in this situation, because today is Russian, tomorrow is Germans. And we need to help each other. We need to understand these problems, and maybe, for example, change the European Union, change the Germany. Maybe we will have one place to immigrate and do this golden hill. The city on the hill, like many times ago, America was. Because I think Europe should return the fire of freedom on European cost.
I can give an example. For example, we have a left liberal news agency, opposition news agency called Meduza, and Meduza is it's Russian-speaking news agency, but it headquartered in Germany, in your country, and I know that in your country you have AfD, Alternative für Deutschland, and your establishment criticize this party, right? And Medusa criticize this party as well, because left liberals joined, they have well qualified communication between each other across the globe. Yeah, and that's why lefts usually doing well in politics terms. Yeah, but for rights, it will be great. It would be great to have such similar opportunity. Rights, in my opinion, rights should communicate like lefts do.
I would explain in German. Es geht um die kommunistische Internationale, wovon Sie reden, dass die allen Linken anfangen zu schreien, wenn irgendwo in Argentinien Milei oder Trump oder keine Ahnung, wo ein Rechter an die Macht kommt oder versucht es. Und der Vorschlag ist, die Libertäre Internationale zu gründen, dass die Libertären voneinander wissen und halt einander unterstützen. Also
genau darum geht es. Genau darum.
And in Poland, you said in Poland there is a libertarian Milei. Could be.
Could be, yeah. Of course, you need to at first understand the Polish, atmosphere, because Catholic Church is very important in Poland. Mm-hmm. That's because libertarians in Poland against abortion. For example, it's very important to understand because the Pope John II, how I remember, I didn't know how it in English because in Poland.
Johannes Paul II.
Yeah. I forget how it in Polish too, but okay, John Paul II. Yeah, he make so much for Polish independence against the communism, and of course, the influence of Kościół, the Catholic Church, is very important in Poland. But they are like minarchists, like fusionists, like conservative libertarians, they call themselves. And 2 days ago, how I remember, this strange separation of nationalist, monarchist, and libertarian decided to nominate this libertarian man. This very interesting because this confederation, they call themselves confederation, this coalition of 3 right parties, kind of right, because nationalists try to a little bit lefty the economic system and libertarian strongly disagree with this and so on. And this right coalition confederation has the 3rd place by polls, and it means that Manson, they call them, he has surname Manson, Slavomir Manson. He can be the candidate in the 2nd tour, because nobody in Poland believes that in the next year it will be only 1 tour, because there is very strong conflict between liberal party coalition of citizens and conservative party right and solidarity. Yeah, all of this party, of course, just statist, just pro-European statist, and nothing else. But the 3rd party is maybe perspective. We will see. I think it's like I said, let's hope don't cope. Yeah, and maybe this Manson will be like Milei, because I was in his meeting in Warsaw, and he said many good things. For example, when somebody asked about the rights of gay person to have civilian marriage, he said, "Do you really want that our government will have the list of gay person? Our Catholic statist government will have the list of gay person. Are you really sure about this?" Because some years ago they criminalized the abortion, criminalized, like, you can go to jail, to prison, because you help to another woman make an abortion.
Same as in Texas.
Yeah. Poland is not, like Russia. Of course, you will have fake prison, like, at home prison. I don't know how it in English. Условный срок.
Not probation. Yeah, probation. It's called probation.
Yeah, probation. Yeah, but actually, why you have probation for helping to? Yeah. This is strange, but it's Poland. You must understand that this culture is different a little bit. But at all, we will hope for Manson, and of course, in May you must to watch about Polish president election, because it's very important. Poland is not presidential republic. A president only have a veto. But president is very important figure at all, because he decided to begin the war. How I remember, he decided to veto to make the parliament, make the government, like, the parliament give to president a list of candidates, and president decided yeah or not.
Important is he can stop some bad laws, and maybe he can put out people from prison or not.
Yeah, of course, like in other countries.
So
I don't know if
you can pardon, yeah.
I don't know if in German you can pardon, like, no?
President? I don't think so. Exactly? No, I don't think so.
Ich glaube nicht. No.
Bundespräsident?
No.
Oh, that's interesting, because I thought that this is like the only one prerogative for president in all of countries that you can.
President is only representative here, Germany.
Oh, actually, this is cool at all. I don't know. I have the question for you, because for me, German had one of the close to libertarian system. Not only Hans, of course. The Holy Roman Empire. What do you think? Is does it was it was the good system or not? Because
before Bismarck.
No. Before, yeah.
The Deutsche Reich from 1871.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a minarchist state.
Yeah.
With a bit of monarchy, of course. It was.
Yeah.
It was a monarchy, but the taxes were under 10%. You had like 50,000. If you calculate 50,000 euros of tax-free every year, and very low progression, up to maximum of 10%. So it was quite. It was like the United States in the start.
Yeah. I glad to hear it, because for me, some years ago, it started to be the, inventation that Holy Roman Empire actually is close to our system we want, yeah. And some years ago, I started to sell this system to Russians, of course, with correction because of times. But I think this type of system is good for a big territory, because you can control so much territories only by one central government.
Exactly.
And this,
So just one bad actor has to come in and control one position that they control. That's the problem.
because this is easy to sell, because they said to you, there is no libertarian countries in the world at all. But I said, wait, what do you know about 800 years of monarchistic state?
Yeah, and we had the Hansestädte, the Hanse
Yeah,
cities.
yeah.
That was almost a private law society.
You know that Russian was a part of Hansa too, because Novgorodian
Nizhny
Republic.
Novgorod, really?
Yeah, no, Veliki Novgorod,
Ah,
the
okay.
Great Novgorod. Because my wife was born in Tikhvin. This is a little city near the Veliki Novgorod, and Tikhvin was a part of Hansa. All of Tikhvin's people know this history, because it's very important history for their small cities. Yeah, and of
we
course,
need the Hanse cities back. That'd be a good start.
oh, it's really good stuff. Or how Hans Hermann Hoppe says, we need to Europe of millions Liechtensteins.
Yeah.
1000.
But thousands, yeah. But yeah, there are numerous examples of what you're pointing out here. The United States at the start, there was a minarchist government.
Before Lincoln, it was.
The western part of Germany after the war, 10, 20 years. That was very low taxes, low regulation.
Actually, how I understand, you already you yet have enough federalization. And if you will have the good federal government, it's possible right now to deregulate some stuff of this. Do I correct or not?
Theoretically.
So,
Yes, theoretically.
Yeah, of course. This is very important because, for example, in French, you cannot resolve the situation as...
They invented centralism.
Yeah.
In Europe, in Middle Europe,
because I studied the law faculty in Moscow, and they described to us two examples: the French, like the history of centralizing, and the German, like the history of decentralizing. Yeah. Do you have any questions from?
Yeah,
YouTube?
I think there's more YouTube questions here.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of them. How long are we on here for now? Let me check.
You can
2 hours.
2 hours. Jesus Christ.
You can ask the more important, and we can go out, because my wife said go away from house. It is too long to speaking.
This is a good question. Which role do pensions payments play in Russian politics? It seems like Russia is buying support in places like Transnistria, South Ossetia, etc. with pensions, with free stuff.
Okay. Actually, you need to understand that it's, of course, continuing of Yeltsin system, because Yeltsin start to think that if we have a little bit fire conflict, like in South Ossetia, in Abkhazia, in Nagorno Karabakh, Transnistria, and so on, we will have the influence of this on these nations, because, for example, we can say Armenians be with us, or we will help Azerbaijan to conquer the Nagorno Karabakh, because actually in 19th. Shevardnadze and the president of Armenia asked Yeltsin not to only stop the war. They asked Yeltsin to stop the war and clear the borders. Because if you clear the borders, there is no war in future. And Shevardnadze and Armenian president understand this truth. But Yeltsin thought about another thing. that if there is a separatist unrecognized republic in Georgia, in Azerbaijan and Armenia, in Moldova, we will have influence in these countries. And unfortunately, all of this war, all of this tragedy for Armenians, for Azerbaijanians, for Georgians, Ossetians and Abkhazians and Transnistrians and Moldavians is the part of Yeltsin global politics for save the influence on post-Soviet countries.
Yeah, there's still troops, Russian troops in Moldavia, right?
Yeah.
In the eastern part, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
Since the 90s.
Transnistria is the special history because actually Transnistria was the part of Ukraine, but Stalin decided to return Bessarabia, this territory right now as Moldovan Republic. And for this, he create the Moldovan Transnistrian Republic to reconquer the Bessarabia full. These conflicts shouldn't exist, because only once Stalin's decision start war in the future. There is no territorial conflict between Moldovians and Ukrainians territory, but Stalin and Yeltsin decided another way. And if Yeltsin decided to have agreement between Moldova and Ukraine and Transnistria, there is another history, but unfortunately.
The world rose from Daniil Andreev. The decision of the monster kills people in the future.
Yeah.
And he wrote about Ivan the Terrible.
Yeah.
We see now the same Stalin.
But actually, the Soviet system is another system, because for understanding the Russian imperial gubernias, its special items, was more logical, like ethnically, than Soviets, because Soviets just take the line, take the pen, and start to draw like they want, like Africa, yeah? The problem of Africa, that the colonists just draw the pen on the map, not about culture, not about the religion. It doesn't matter. There is no people, only the slaves,
There's one key difference, though, between the division of the subject of the subjects of the USSR and Africa. In Africa, it's literally just straight lines. This little thingy in the border between Egypt and Libya. Why? Because the British general had a finger there with a ruler, holding the ruler. And now we have this, and no one lives there. It's the middle of Sahara, so no one cares. In Soviet Union, though, the decisions were made very, very much deliberately. For example,
they try to mix the population.
To mix people who do not want to live together, and to split one ethnicity into different territorial units. For example, I can give you a very good example. We have the so-called Republic of Karacháyevo-Cherkessia and Republic of Kabardino-Balkaria. The ethnicity is there is a Turkic ethnicity which is called Karachaevo-Balkars, and there is an Adig, so a Caucasus ethnicity which is called Adigs or Cherkesy, yeah. So they arbitrarily split Kabardino-Cherkes into three actually people, because there is also Adygea, and they are all the representatives of the same people. They split them into three parts, they separate the families, and they force them to live with Turkic people who ethnically well, they had the same religion, Islam, but ethnically or linguistically had nothing to do with each other, and they forced Karachaevo-Balkars to live with Cherkess. Karachaevs don't understand the Cherkess language. Balkars don't understand the Kabardin languages, but they forced them to live together, and they forced them to live separately of the family. Why? Because it's easier to control them. And this is not the story with Africa. In Africa, just no one cares. In Russia, in the USSR, Stalin cared very much about this, and he understood it very well. It's easier to control when divide and conquer.
I want to remember you the Switzerland.
Yeah.
So built from different nations, but they live together because they have liberty.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe it's the solution for all of them.
Actually, our nationalists who cares about, territories don't understand that the best way to save our territory unity is the federation. because actually I interested in Meloni, the premier minister of Italy, because some kind of this politics every time is interesting for me, but I don't really know that she will be really perspective. She decided to make federalization for Italy 1 month ago, and Parliament voted for this. And right now, because before it, the Italians don't want to live with each other. If you go to Italy, you will understand that Sicilians say to you, "We are not Italian, we are Siciliano." Neapolitans say, "We are Napolitano, we are Genovese," and so on, so on, so on. They don't think they are the one nation. They want to split every time. But the Garibaldi, who the hatred person of all of Italians, decided to merge them. And right now, Meloni, for me, like a hero, because she decided to save the country because of federalization. Because it's resolve the conflict between the different subjects, because all of them have their problems with financial situation. And the very rich North don't want to pay for very poor South. Very poor South don't want to be, under the influence of North. And all of Italy want to be separated. And federation is a good solution. And I think that for Russian federation is the best solution. Because if we will split all of this shit that Soviet Union draw by cities, villages, and so on, people will be happy, because, for example, some Russian villages in Tatarstan don't need to teach, to learn Tatars. Some Tatarians villages don't need to learn Russian, because they can be free to learn the language they want to learn. They want to decide in their cities all stuff they want. For example, in North Caucasian, because of Islam, because of tradition, the marriage is normal from 13, 14 years old. There is part of there's tradition. Okay, but in Moscow, it's not okay. And I think truly federation, when Moscow decided other way on this situation, and North Caucasus think another, it helped to us don't have another Chechen war, for example, or another ethnicity clearing, because actually in Europe there is no. They don't say to you, but Chechens clear Russians too. This is, of course, the Russians and Chechens are the victims of the Stalin situation, because Stalin moved many of Chechens, like 19% of Chechens, to Kazakhstan, and where they return, they see the Russian in their own houses, and of course they was angry about this situation. It's normal, yeah. You understand that it's okay. Your property was conquered by
alienated.
yeah. But of course, it's not the we cannot say, oh, Chechens have right to clear the Russian ethnicity from Chechnya, or Russian can clear the Chechen's ethnicity from Chechnya. Nobody can, yeah. But Federation can resolve this conflict, and Chechens can live how they want, and Russian can live how they want.
If you don't do this, there will be no Russia in the future.
Yeah. Of course.
The only way.
Yeah.
It already was only way for Germany, I think. And Germany was a federation, or it should be a federational republic. It is not, but it should be. We want this.
I would go as far as to say that a confederation is a better solution. It might be not realistic in the nearest future.
Yeah.
Russia,
because of China and USA, yeah.
Something we must strive.
Yeah, actually, we want a confederation, but right now, because of China, because of USA, we can do something like this. But federation, like the beginning of the European Union, is a normal solution for Russia.
Okay, we are now over 2 hours.
Yeah, we were trying to keep it under 2. It often fails. Because most people don't watch long streams like this. Maybe one last thing regarding the demonstration on Saturday?
Yeah, the rally. If I may, I want to introduce that.
On German.
I'm not sure if... Well, I can try, but feel free to ask questions. For you wanted to say something, right? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, please.
Okay.
Introduce it.
My name is Maxim Sindyuk, and I am organizing a rally on Saturday. So it's going to be this Saturday, September the 7th, in Berlin. At Bebelplatz. The rally is going to have the general agenda of protesting against the attempts of the governments to limit the free speech and for the anonymity and tools of anonymity on the internet. That could be interesting for a broader audience of Germans, maybe of those who are not as much invested into Russian politics as some of the speakers here are. But the reason and the motivation for it, why we're doing it right now, is the much talked about arrest and detaining of Pavel Durov, the founder and CEO of independent platform Telegram, which I think a lot of Germans are using. Germans are using. I'm not sure if it's the majority, but it's, I would say, the significant portion of the German population. Of course, the real reason for that is the absolute is the fact that Durov refused to cooperate with the Central European government as well as with local French government on censoring things. So he is cooperating in accordance with the international and European law on case-by-case basis to tackle terrorism, extremism, etc. Although my personal opinion is that even that is not necessary, but that
it's not his
happening.
responsibility what happens on his platform, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But another thing is the technology he's implementing for end-to-end encryption. It's not based on WhatsApp technology. It's not based on, like, I would honestly admit that more advanced session or signal end-to-end encryption. But that's his own technology, and he is not sharing the keys with anyone, including the European government. And that is, in my opinion, the real reason of their outrage, of them trying to imprison him, etc. So,
and of course, crypto. If you like,
and of course, his Ton coin, his own cryptocurrency. He had already legal problems in the United States. He was forced out of the United States back when he was trying to integrate into American economy, because of that. Because Americans want to control everything. They cannot control crypto. Euro bureaucrats want to control Ton coin. They cannot do it. So if these are some of the values that you share, if these are some of the things you stand for, or you know someone who does, we welcome you in our rally. I repeat, it's gonna be 2 p.m. So 1400 military time, so to speak. Bebelplatz, Berlin. The exact list of speakers is still being talked about, but yeah, everyone is welcome. Maybe if you had some more specific questions, I could try to answer them in German.
I would urge you to I don't know if that's your channel or you control the channel. Irakli sent me a post about this rally happening, and it's in Russian, and there's no German.
Yeah, because this is the our Russian speaking community, Volnitsa, how I say it. But we can convert it in German and give it text to you for your accounts to provide on German auditory. Yeah. And
because actually, I would then spread it to people with larger followings. So the actual,
Actually, I give the Irakli website because we have a website right now. We don't announce this because of Libertarian Party of Russia a little bit slow right now. They oppressed. They have a point, but we give you a website. And yesterday you can announce it with website and German manifestation, because in this website we have all of our meetings in Europe, and your of course too, and your logo. Yeah.
Ludwig, I already sent them your translation.
Перевод я уже послал, ребят, нет?
Ты послал перевод именно на анонс?
Yeah.
Ludwig translated already this.
Yeah, with large language model. They're quite good at this.
Okay.
I don't speak Russian.
It was good.
And I will ask you about to translate from, because we have English and Russian web page. I ask you to translate it on German. Because we want to make a German version too. It's very easy for us, but we need to translation. Yeah, thank you.
All right, good talk. Thank you for staying with us so long on YouTube. Those who stayed, and have a good night.
Have a good night.
Until Saturday.
Thanks for having us.
Hopefully.
Okay, I will actually ask you about, maybe we can made a little lection in Poland for Russian auditory. We can translate your message because it's very interesting, because you European party legal party. Yeah, maybe you can something say about your experience in politics or something like this. I think it's very interesting experience for Russian in Poland. Yeah, and we also can do the same thing in Berlin. Maybe in autumn or in winter. Yeah. What do you think about it?
Good idea. I think I'm just looking around like this because I think we're still on YouTube. How do you end this?
Oh,
Eva?
sorry.
I just stopped the recording.